Welcome to the most desired video on my channel to date. Everyone has always hit me up about the bags because I got the bags like 3 months ago. And I said I was going to do it the first weekend I got them. I never wound up doing them, and then it winded up becoming a thing to make fun of me for. But in this video, we're finally putting the bags on. It's a Airlift 3P kit, I believe is the one I got. It's not brand new, it's used. I got it for $2,700 off Facebook Marketplace. And I'm really hoping I have everything I'm going to need for this install. I'm a little scared. I know I needed airlines that I just got off Amazon. I have the struts, I have the controller, I have 2 tanks actually. Some other aftermarket tank that he had that looks a lot better, so I'm definitely going to use this one. Here's the whole setup. I'm really hoping I'm not missing any fittings or hardware because that would really suck. He said this was literally everything he had. Not sure why, but he even gave me a bike stand. So shout out to Mans for the bike stand. So yeah, I guess we're gonna start the install. Really don't want to do it, but we're gonna do it. So the first thing we're gonna do is remove the suspension completely from my car before bringing any of that shit upstairs. So right now, if you don't know, I'm on Raceline coilovers. Unfortunately, they are already sold. Sorry if any of you all wanted to buy it off me. Catch you when the rear suspension is out.
I was getting hot, sipping dirty red. When I pop this beat, I can feel my legs. Pour a pint of lean, then I'm going in. I can't sleep, all this medicine. Fell asleep on the street.
Alright, so I got the Raceline suspension out. Bing, bing, boom, bada bing. I really wish that putting the bags in was going to be as easy as taking those in and out because coilovers are so easy to put in, especially compared to putting in bags. Well, actually, I've never done it, but I'm just assuming because, you know, there's obviously lines that have to be ran, a lot of electrical wiring that needs to happen, that I have no idea what I'm doing. Absolutely zero idea. So kind of just winging it here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the front. So I'm going to go and grab the front struts and start putting that back in. I'm just really hoping I have all the components I need to make this installation complete. So I'll go ahead and grab the fronts, see what's popping. So alright, so I got the passenger front side one in completely. Here it is in there with the bag, and I got the end link on there and everything. Pulls it up here. So I'm gonna show you all how I do the driver's side. Alright, so this is what we got going on in the front. Here's the front strut with the bag, obviously. Here is the top hat, or whatever you want to call it. Fortunately, it does come with it's like camber plate, so it's gonna give me negative 2.5 degrees of camber, which is nice. So obviously, we got to bolt this to this. It was missing the hardware up top, so I went to the local auto parts store and then picked up just these. I know it's not locking, it should be locking. I did order some on Amazon, so I'm gonna swap these over once I get them off Amazon. So I'm gonna bolt the top hat to this loosely because we're gonna have to move it while it's in here. So I'm literally just gonna let it be this loose for now, so that way we have tons of wiggle room. All right, so first I'm actually gonna bolt the top hat into up here. I'm gonna go ahead and finger tighten them on there. So now we got the top hat finger tightened up top. This is still really loose, everything's still really loose. And then down here, obviously, this still needs to go into this sleeve right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a jack stand under here, so that way I don't have to push it up and then tighten this at once. So I'm gonna throw a jack under this rotor, and I'm putting some WD-40 around here and on the inside just to make it a little bit easier with fitting it up. Alright, so I have the jack under here, and obviously we have a lot of wiggle room. That's what we wanted. This little notch, you have to line up with the back gap. Alright, so if you're doing this, actually don't lift it up on the rotor because then it keeps everything stiff and won't give the knuckle any room to wiggle around. So do it right behind it, and then that gives you, yeah, it fit right in there now. So right now it's fully on the sleeve actually. So what we can go ahead and do, throw this bolt that clamps the sleeve together so that way the strut won't move anywhere. So right there is the bolt that we're going to be tightening. Alright, so I'm tightening up the top now. For me, it's a 19 right here. I don't know what it would be on the actual Airlift lock nut up top. And then it's the 13 on these. So I'm tightening all this stuff up. This is all bolted back in now. So the next thing that I'm going to do is get this end link back on there. So it's just this one end. This is the Raceline end link. And it's probably going to work perfectly fine. And once you get it as tight as you can with a ratchet, you have to do it like this. You have to put I think it's a 4mm or 5mm Allen in the bolt, and then you're gonna have to take a 17 wrench and then tighten it up until it won't stop. It don't got much. All right, so this whole front is completely done now, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop this down. That's honestly it for the front. The front's actually really easy. The back's not gonna be too difficult either. All right, so I got the rear passenger side done. Somewhat, I don't really understand what's going on right here. So I have the airlift control arms in here, this, and then the one underneath that goes right, that attaches to the bag. I don't have a roll plate for down here. Fortunately, it didn't come with the kit, but it's not gonna make a crazy difference. I might order one in the future. And I have the strut in there completely. Everything is bolted in tight and nice. And the one thing I don't understand is why this is so loose, because this is supposed to be fitting up into this hole right here, like that, up more, obviously. So I don't know what's going on with that. So we got the control arm hitting the ground right now. So the only thing holding it in, 20 mil back here. So it's just obviously a nut and a bolt. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that out, so that way we can get this one out and get the airlift control arm in. Alright, so we got the OEM one out. So now that we got the control arm out of there, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the airlift one in. It's a little bit rusty, but you know, she'll do the job. We want the side with bigger gap to be in the inside, so it'll just sit like this, if you know what I'm saying. But this little bracket is actually going to be used for that guy right there. The other side, there is no sensor, level sensor, so the passenger side you don't got to worry about. So I'm actually only going to bolt this side in first, so that way we can swing it up and get the bag in there. I got this control arm in there finger tight because we wanted this to be able to swing around and shit. This is the next thing we're going to go ahead and throw in there. So you want it slanted towards the outside of the car, and that goes for both sides. So this driver's side will be slanted this way, and then that side will be this way. So hopefully that makes sense. So it's gonna go in there like this. Again, you're supposed to have a roll plate for the bottom. Fortunately, he didn't give me any. All right, so when you pull the OEM suspension, this little top hat thing is what sits right under there that feeds into that hole. So this is just on the stock spring, actually. You're gonna take this same OEM piece and put this over the bag. Yeah, so just like that. So from there, actually, you're not gonna be able to fit the bag in there. You're actually gonna have to remove this piece here, which Airlift gives you a aftermarket one. That way because it bends out to the side. So this is just straight, which isn't enough room to squeeze this in there, unfortunately. All right, so I got this out of there. This is how the bolts are sat in there. The 18 on this side and the 18 on this side. And then up front, like I said, just the 18, nothing on this side. Now it's time to swap to the Airlift one. So I got this in there now, all tightened up. Now the next thing to do is swing this up and get that bag in there. All right, so before we put in the last bolt to the control arm, this is the shock that Airlift gives you. And then these are like OEM part that come off the OEM suspension. So this is on the very top that bolts in the top of the strut. What you want to do is pop this little sleeve thing out, just like that. So that way you just have this piece, and then I'm slipping this over like that. With this piece, you actually want to pry bushing or the spacer, or whatever you want to call it, off. All right, got it off there. This you actually just use on the inside of the trunk, so that can hold off. With this, I'm gonna feed this to the insert up here. What you use to bolt that in up there is just gonna be this yellow piece that you get from right here, and then the big washer that they give you. I was not given it, so I went to Lowe's and grabbed a bunch of different ones. I think I'm just gonna use this one. It goes bushing, washer, and then nut, and bolt it all the way down, just like that one. All right, so I finally got all the suspension completely, everything tightened up, everything bolted in. Next thing now is figuring out how I'm gonna run the lines in the electrical side of this. I think what I'm gonna do here first is just take the harness and set it in the car. Obviously the end with the module and shit is gonna be on this end, and then I'm gonna run the remote and fuse tap to the front. So I'm just gonna pick it all up and then throw it in there. So I somewhat got this kind of laid out. I know it looks probably super shitty on camera, but I got the remote and the fuse tap right up front, and then this kind of all figured out. So first things first, this being a used kit, I don't think this is normal, but this is like cut off. So I'm gonna go ahead and just splice this together, because the pink wire is what you use as a fuse tap. So these actually go directly to the battery, and in instructions it says that you really should put it to the battery so you don't have any power loss. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this little bracket thing, which is just 2 10 mils. Alright, so like I said, I got those hooked up there. I'm actually gonna hold off on putting the ground on there because I really don't want to get shocked while like splicing a bunch of shit. So I'm gonna hold off on connecting the grounds to there. I don't know if this is gonna work at all, but it didn't really look like it really mattered too much where the relays were. I think I'm gonna keep both of them right here. This is OEM right here out of the OEM wiring harness, just grounded right here. So I took the bolt off and then put both the relays on this. I'm really hoping that the trim will fit back in here. If it doesn't, then I might have to swing this one up or something. I stopped doing the wiring, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and run the line. So the front passenger side one ran where I think I want to do it, and I'm going to show you how I do the driver's side one. I'm just going to do the passenger side to figure out how I want to do it before filming. I have to figure out how to get the 4 lines ran up through the underside of the car, obviously, to the trunk. So it's a bunch of 10 millimeters that I already went ahead and removed. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to lift this shit up now. So actually, in order to get this loose, you have to take all the 10s up top, and there's like 8 bolts down here that you have to get off. So they're all 10 mils, but it's like there, pretty much all spread out. And then there's one difficult bolt, this little guy right here. You have to kind of pull this down, and then it's like way up in there. I don't feel like showing it because it's kind of way up in there, but you'll see it. This is definitely the way to route the airlines because it's just completely the underside of the car. So I think it actually be nice to pull this entire thing out, and that way I can run the lines through here. I can drill some nice holes. The location I'm going to do all the holes is one on the side, 2 on the back, and then 1 more on this side. This would be for one of the rears, and the 2 fronts. Now I got a bunch of these fittings, and I'm not really sure where you're supposed to put these. It's those. I mean, I don't really research anything. I kind of just send it, which is a really bad idea, but we're going to do it. I did see some people just drill into this and then send it straight through. They put this like little putty on it. So I might just stick 90s on here and run them straight up, and I think that'll be super clean actually. So alright, so I got all these fittings in there super tight. I think that looks super duper clean, regardless if this is what you're even supposed to use them for, but I think that looks super clean. This isn't bolted back in. I'm gonna keep it loose until everything's figured out. But the thing I did was just took the roll of airlines, and the way I have it is I have this going behind the strut. I loosen up these pieces right here just with a couple 8 mils, and then I'm gonna feed it right through here. What you want to do is just take this and then just plug one of the ends in from your big roll. So I have the line plugged into here, and then I just loosen up 1 bolt, just an 8 mil, to get this trim loose under here. Then I plug the roll of airline in it. I'm just gonna keep all of it on the end of it for now because we don't know exactly how long we need it to be. What you want to do to run it all the way up to the front or to the rear safely is just this whole like plastic, I don't know what this would be called, piece right here that runs down the side of your car. You want to loosen it all up just on this side. You don't have to take it all the way out. That way we can just shove the airline in it so it's all nice and tucked, and then just gonna want to run it all the way down there, and I'll show you once I have this whole piece down and then this over top of it. Don't question how wet it is. It came like that from stock from BMW. Actually, it wasn't me, I swear to God. Anyways, I got all this loose down here, and you'll see like the fuel lines ran down there and everything. So you just want to tuck it all the way up in there and then bolt it all back in. So that way it's all hidden, and then it should pop out the end like this. So since this is all thrown on top of here, I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this all back in, make sure it's all in place and hidden, and then we'll go from there. And then what you want to do to figure out about how much more you need, what I would do is just get underneath the car, and then when you're lining up to the fitment, just give yourself like an extra foot or something, because I mean, if you order the airlines, normally they come in about like 25 feet, and that's way too much, honestly. So you're gonna have plenty extra regardless. Give yourself a bunch of extra because you can always cut down. It's better to cut too long than too short, just like in real life, you know what I'm saying? We got that whole one ran over the suspension. What I would recommend to do is after that, pull it over right through this crack, kind of route it all through the suspension. I plugged it into the other side of this, so all we have left to do is run the rear line, which is super simple. You just come from there and then straight to the little fitting over there. All right, so the rear one's all done now too. This one's really short actually, so I just ran this right through that little crack and shot it over to our fittings. I'll show you real quick. All right, so here's our little work. So here's the 2 down the middle are the fronts. There's the back driver's side. You see it right there. It's the passenger side. So I think it actually looks pretty sick. Looks pretty beautiful, I cannot lie. Now this trunk setup that I'm gonna have in this video is not gonna be final at all. I plan on going crazy stupid with the final one. So this is just gonna be temporary, and whatever works. That's what I'm going for right here. So use the same 4 fittings. I think I'm just gonna have holes and just put them just like this, and then run the lines through, and then have the module right here, or right here actually, and then just run them straight to it just like that. Spraying its absolute dick off at the moment. This is how we got the trunk set up looking. I know it's been a while since I updated y'all, but we got the compressors in and wired up. All I did was splice this with the harness together. That's all I did pretty much. And then These are routed through here. This is like super stiff, but you know, we're just gonna send her. This was for one of the plugs. It was just like the fill and drain thing. That's just gonna be loose for now until I figure out if this shit even works. This compressor is hooked up to the tank. Same with that one. This is the filter. That's just gonna be there for now. And then that,
a hurricane going on.
yeah, definitely.
Look at this. Oh, wow, that's a nice car right there. Who's that?
Oh, here we go. You gotta be a man about it.
Oh, I got it.
All right, looks like you're.
There she is.
If this remote turns on, it's a day right here. I think there's low chances this turns on. Steady calling my phone. Damn, bro, I knew it wasn't gonna turn on.
Is it dead?
He's over here fixing a shitty little exhaust right there. So I figured out last night that there was air leaking in the compartment down under here. So I got these mounted in, that mounted in. The tank's still not mounted in yet, but I fixed the leaking issues. And now it's holding across the board, except for top right, which is the front right, is losing air like really slowly. Like every minute it'll drop 1 psi. There's got to be like the smallest leak in the world somewhere, but I think for right now, just because I'm too excited to see it like absolutely dumped, I think I'm just gonna throw the wheels on and then we're gonna give it a little test run. I got to figure out why the front right is leaking like really slowly. And then for the fuse where I tapped it into, put it in fuse 27. I took a lot of trial and error to figure out which one. Only came on ignition, so I used fuse 27 over there, which is a 10 amp, I believe. Alright, so we put the wheels back on. You ready to drop her?
He's got some really nice wheels on here. I know that.
I don't know who got them, but
yeah, this thing is sweet.
there it is. It's off. Don't dump. That looks high as shit.
It's a monster truck.
It's just big up. Alright, we're gonna get the front down now.
Get over here real quick. That's nice. Exhaust tips. Mint. Alright, let's get back to Wyatt. There's a boring build.
Oh wait, we're just going back. Oh my god! Oh!
No. Oh my god! Wait!
Oh, what is happening?
Wait!
This is the lowest car in the planet.
Wait!
This is what the compressor sound like with the car on. It's not like stupid loud, but like,
When you have music, you're not even gonna hear it.
yeah, dumb shit in the back.
You need to clean your oh my! Come on!
Oh, you hear that click?
No, I didn't hear no. Turn the music up.
Alright, so when we drove it was like, the alignment is completely way off. And when I hit the brakes, it felt big sus. So I'm hoping nothing like crazy's wrong, but it definitely don't feel right. But we got her here, about to air out right now.
Hey-o.
All the way out. Jesus Christ.
Go.
Oh my god. So something's definitely loose, not really sure what it is, but we got the car jack back up. Did you figure out what it is yet?
Yeah, we could have.
What?
You want to rate out here?
Hey. Why'd you not tighten that? Now I have all the bags at 100 psi. I'm gonna do a little air out real quick so you guys can see. So I'm really hoping we don't have that sluggish steering feel anymore. I know we need an alignment. That's for sure needed. I'm gonna go get some food and feel how it drives. And I'll probably just pull up in like a parking lot somewhere and end this video out because I feel like it's been long enough. The long-awaited bagged car is finally done. I've had it for like 3 months just sitting in my basement. I finally got her bagged. It looks insane and I can't be any happier. I definitely need to get some wheels that are gonna fit. Let me know if any of you guys have bagged cars and what wheel size you run, because I need to figure out what wheel size to run, because I want to be able to go this low, because this just looks insane being that low. But I also need traction because I'm running these wheels. Anytime I hit it, I just spin my ass off and I literally cannot hold traction for shit. So let me know what you guys would recommend as far as wheel sizing, because I definitely need to know. I want to go as wide as possible, but still being able to air out this low. Goddamn. That's a low vehicle right there, baby. Sure. So I mean, it wasn't like the most insanely hard process, honestly. Like, I'll leave a link to Airlift full instruction kit, just in case any of you guys doing it don't know that they actually have their full instruction kit online. That'll be linked down below. As far as the trunk setup, there's nothing buttoned up at all, but I plan on making that a different video. All right, so that wraps up this video. We're getting close to 5K, so if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe and like this video. Make sure to check out shopwebbies.com. We have wheels available now. We have a bunch of BMW parts, Volkswagen and Audi. So I keep trying to get as much stuff as I can on that website as possible. We're having Burger Motorsports stuff get on there pretty soon too. We'll get one last little quick look at the whip. This bitch looks crazy. I can't stop looking at it. I do have to still figure out the ride I don't want to go with though. Yep, so that's gonna do this for this video. Thank y'all for watching. Follow me on Instagram. Catch you on the flip.
Fuck no, nigga. Pocket watching, that's a duckfish. I put a price on your head. I be sleeping with a tech bitch. Get that shit right on my bed. No, you be capping, you ain't by no edges, so we know.